Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm getting set up here on Instagram. Yeah, I mean, getting set up here. Happy to be with y'all today. I'm going to pull out a poll. I'm going to put out a poll first. And then we're going to go from there. I know I can. How y'all doing today? I'm so juiced. It's Monday. Hey, boo. It's Monday. We're going to get straight to it. I want to put out a poll. And because today's topic is You've Got Me Totally Effed Up, right? The parenting edition. I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. So you're going to be seeing me look back and forth. But we're going to talk about how our kids, and sometimes how, of course, how us as parents how we have each other totally effed up. This whole topic came about when I was having a conversation this morning with my BFF, and I'm like, why is it that our kids have us totally effed up sometimes? Why? I was just talking about like the changes my 5-year-old is going through. And when we were doing back to school shopping, she decided she wanted to throw a tantrum. Exactly. Silence. And I really struggle because, I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, I got spankings, I got whoopings, and those were life-changing, like in a really big way for me, because I was definitely afraid anyway. And so that kind of redirected me real quick. I was always the child who just wanted to get it right now. Did I have my like, I'm resisting, I'm going against the force or whatever. Of course, I had those moments also. But ideally, I really liked to stay on the straight and narrow. I wanted to do everything that I was told I was supposed to do, show up in the ways that I was supposed to. So in that vein, I really did try hard to stay on the straight and narrow. But I also had my moments of like, I hate you, mom. And, when I tried to run away, yo, that whole runaway moment, I really believe that I was in control at that point. Like, I got so angry with my mom. I think I was in like maybe middle school, maybe ninth grade, maybe, but I was probably like in maybe 7th or 8th, I think. And I remember telling my mom, like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm running away. And she's like, oh, okay, you gonna run away? And I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm tired of y'all. I'm done with this. I hate you, mom. Like, oh my gosh. I was just like super done with them. And so my mom said, okay. She was first of all, my mom is conservative. And she doesn't like curse and stuff. Like that means that it's really like you went way too far if they're curse words, because she doesn't cuss. But she was like eerily way calm, because my mom is actually the one who would give me most of the spankings. That was just her thing. And so she was eerily very calm, and she was like, okay, you want to run away? Okay, you could do that. That's fine. And I'm like, okay, well then I'm out of here. I'm running away. And I started packing my stuff. Well, she let me do good. She walked out. Okay, you running away, whatever. let me pack my stuff. So I'm in there talking stuff under my, I'm getting on my nerves anyway. How we do. I'm packing my stuff, talking stuff. Got my shoes, got my clothes. I'm ready to go. Mind you, I don't have a vehicle. I don't have a ride. We live in a cul-de-sac in Baldwin Hills. The way down to the actual big street is far. Like, we're not going to act like I'm just like have access to get away. All right, cool. I'm leaving. I pack my stuff. So she waltzes in there. And I mean waltzes, as she kind of strolled in there so gently and kindly. She's not even mad, in my opinion. I'm like, oh, you're chilling. You don't even care. Cool. My mom waltzes in there and she's like, so you can leave, but you're going to leave everything that I bought and I paid my money for. So when you go, you take with you what you purchased. Now, at this moment, I then start calculating all of the things that I've purchased. Mind you, I didn't start braiding. I taught myself how to braid, right? Clearly not far after this moment, realizing that I didn't have shit. All right, cool. I taught myself how to braid not too far after this experience because I realized, sure, you ain't got nothing. You ain't no money. You can't do nothing. I start calculating all the things that she bought. And I'm like, yo, I don't have nothing. I don't have any shoes. I don't have any clothes. I don't have a jacket. I don't have any money to go anywhere. I can't call nobody. I don't have anywhere to go. On top of the fact that she was like, oh, yeah, and I want you to leave what you have on because I bought that too. So what you're saying is, now I got to go out in the wilderness, in the wild, in the cold, in the universe with no clothes on, no shoes on. I don't even own underwear that you didn't purchase. So this is what you're telling me. So now you're telling me I can't leave. So that's what you're saying? Now you're saying I can't leave? And she's like, no, I didn't say you couldn't leave. I just said you had to leave everything that I bought. And I was like, yo, you're wilding, Mom. This is on you. So now that I have to stay in this house hating you guys, this is all your fault. Needless to say, I had her totally fucked up. Completely, totally fucked up. All that good, like, entitlement, I had her totally fucked up. I was so clueless, clearly, about the world and how it worked. And no wonder she was calm, because she knew I wasn't going nowhere. And I already knew. First of all, she wasn't giving me a spanking for having this whole meltdown I was having. So I already knew there was something to all this. But I couldn't figure it out till it was too late and I couldn't go nowhere and I was stuck in the house. Now I'm on punishment on top of the fact that I didn't run away. I just went outside, sat on the, whatever, I ran away. I ain't going nowhere. And I didn't do that again either. I didn't, I realized I didn't have much. So there's nowhere I could go. I didn't have anything. I didn't have nowhere to go. But I just realized, how many times I've thought about, even when I, thought about this whole topic of how often, I feel like my kids got me totally effed up. How often I've had my mom totally fucked up. Like, totally. My dad totally fucked up. Where, again, my dad was one of those where I could count on one hand how many spankings he's ever given me. And really, I can only think of 2 times. And they were both life-changing and traumatic. And I probably totally deserved all of it. I did. Like, I had him fucked up. And I think the thing is, I will own that my parents, I thought, like, as a kid that we were rich. I thought we had money. I had no clue that my parents were, like, working their lives away to provide for us. Of course, we were latchkey kids, but so was everybody else. So I didn't think that was a thing. We had a housekeeper come and clean the house a few times a month. I just thought we was good. I did not know that my parents were struggling, that they were pinching pennies to provide for us. It was three of us, on top of the fact that my mom would like let some of my cousins come stay with us and things like that. But we had the best of so many things, including spending family time, including, my dad being the coach to my basketball team and taking us. We were out, we were in drill team, we were in basketball, we were in karate, we did ballet and tap. We did so many things again, and it was three of us. We dressed to impress. We were standing in line. I'll never forget. Shout out to Charmise. Standing in line so we could all get Jordans. Like, I thought we had so much, but I also think that lended to my entitlement, me thinking that somehow I deserve that. And the bottom line is, shoot, whatever they could do, I should have been grateful for. Whatever they could give, I should have been grateful for. Whatever opportunities I was offered, I should have been grateful for. Them spending time with me, I should have been grateful for. Whatever food they put on the table, I should have been grateful for. My mom cooked 7 days a week, no cap, for us. If she didn't cook, that's because she was unavailable in some way. But my mom showed up. My dad worked his ass off, doing whatever he could do to make a living for us, working for the cable company, doing everything that he could do. And we lived in Baldwin Hills. Now, we started off at 74th and Normandy. For all those who are from LA, know what I'm talking about. 74th and Normandy, right next to the elementary school. We started off there, and my parents said, no, that's not enough. We're going to do more. And they moved us into Baldwin Hills when we were little. And that's where we grew up, until my parents got a divorce and we moved to Inglewood. So I just didn't quite calculate how invested, how much my parents gave, how much they had to sacrifice for us to be given what we did have, which was a lot. I was able to get a car at 16. I signed up to work. I was excited. My parents made me work for that vehicle. And they took it away every opportunity they could get where I act like I was entitled or privileged. You know what I'm saying? But I just realized and think about all the times I had my parents fucked up. So when I thought about this list again, I was talking to my best friend about how my 5-year-old had my husband and I totally fucked up. And, she threw this tantrum in Target, and I let it go on. So for all of those of you who have children, sometimes you have what I call parent ear, and you just block it out. Like, I know what's happening, but I'm blocking it out because I'm trying to do something right now. So part of it, I'm talking to her. I'm very calm. I try to be very therapeutically appropriate with her. Hey, Pooh, this is what we're doing right now. This is our task. And I even tried to give her a choice. My husband's like, nah. And so it just got worse. She escalated from there. The screaming, she's screaming and all in Target. And I'm like, look, okay. Look, now, you didn't go on too far now. So eventually I had enough. And I said, okay, so when we get to the car, you know what time it is now. I can count on one hand how many times I've spanked, my child. I can count on one hand. But I had enough. And she knew it was because she knows when I got to the place of like, I went too far. Okay, Mom, I'm really sorry. Mom, I'm really sorry. Her favorite thing is, Mom, I'm really sorry. Do you forgive me? I forgive you, but you still gonna get this work. All this work. Wait till we get to the car. And at this point, I don't have anything else to say. So you can talk, but I'm not. Let's just get where we gotta go. And she knows it's my plan. Abort. It's gone too fucking far. But you already had me fucked up, and you had me fucked up for a extended period of time. And the thing is my husband was so great, like, and sweet, and like, because usually he's like, yo, nah, son, nah, no. And it's not like she's our first. We have our son is now 16, and he used to have these moments, a lot less, I would say, no, because he was very emotional at that time. Well, this entitlement that kids have, I don't understand it. Like, we are responsible and absolutely obligated for getting you toys and candy and asking for $100 shirts and shoes. And, I'm like, who do you think you are and who do you think we are? That's a no-go for me, dog. That's a no-go for me. Again, another situation. Years ago, our son had his cousin over, and they were playing, and I hear his cousin crying. And I'm like, okay, so I go in there. I'm like, what's going on in here? And so he he says, my son, he called me poor. He was making fun of me and my shoes. Oh, he was. Oh, he was. I said, so who do you think you are? Because now you got me fucked up. Now you got your dad fucked up. Now you got your cousin fucked up. All right. Who do you think you are? You think you're a bomb? You think that Jordans or all of this stuff makes you a good person? Because it doesn't. And I want to be clear about that. And I also want to be clear that we're not rich. Everything, that your dad and I do, we work really hard for. So we're not going to get this totally messed up. Your mom, your dad, and myself, we do our best. But that does not at all give you permission to think less of, treat someone less at all. More than one way to skin a cat. So now, of course, my husband is livid. He comes in there. He's I say, look, this is what the situation is, but he's livid. He's like, nah, you know what time it is. So no. Let's try to do this a different way. So at this point, it's quiet. We were going to an event, a family event. It's quiet. Nobody's saying anything. And so I said, let's stop at the mall. Before we go, let's stop at the mall. So we all get out, like, he's gleaming ear to ear. Oh, it's good. We're good. Because there was no spankings. I just had a conversation. Like I said, everything's good. We smiling. We laughing. We having a good time. We stroll in the mall and we look at both of them and we say, listen, son, since you think so much less of your cousin, since you have so much to say about how much better you are, we're going to show you that one, that's not okay. Two, that it's not about what you do or don't have. And you treat people the same, regardless of what you do or don't have. So we looked at his cousin and we said, you get a brand new pair of shoes. Whichever shoe in this store that you choose, it's on you, boo. And son, you're going to have to watch, because for whatever reason, you think that you're entitled and you think that you're so much better. But you're not. You're a good person. You need to act like one. Y'all, he cried, screamed, had a meltdown for hours. He had a meltdown for hours. I want to go home. Take me home to my mama's house. Blah, blah, blah. Devastated. But it was one of those teachable moments where we had the opportunity to show him, one, you got us fucked up. Two, you got him fucked up. He loves you. He wants to hang out with you. He thinks the world of you. That's a no for me. And in that moment, we've constantly reiterated the idea that clothes don't make you a good person. Clothes don't make you rich. Clothes, all these trinkets and things don't say anything other than this is who I present as. Then what else? So as I was thinking of this live, I said I wanted to be, pretty strategic about how I presented this information. So I wrote a list. Obviously, this is not an all-inclusive list at all in any way, shape, or form. I just wanted to talk to y'all about some of the things that I think kids have us totally fucked up. Okay, this is not an all-inclusive list. Throwing tantrums in public places, the entitlement of it all. I deserve, you deserve all this. If you have food, if you have shelter, if you have are being transported to and from your educational spaces, as long as we are treating you with love and respect, we don't have nothing else to talk about. But all right, let's talk about what else that has us totally fucked up. Okay. Rushing you to do something. Hurry up. What? Where? Okay, cool. Not saying yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. Now, I'm from California. I did not grow up with the yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. However, the majority of my adult life, all of my adult life, has been spent in different spaces of the South. And I've come to the conclusion that specifically for my children, I expect yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. No, ma'am, no, sir. It's a means of respect. You don't call me by my first name. Mommy's appropriate. That's appropriate. Yes, ma'am, yes, sir, ma'am. All of that is appropriate. Anything else, you got me fucked up. Cool. But again, that's specifically me growing up as an adult in the South really gave me a different perspective on that. Because that's not what I grew up with as a child. So then being able to see how respect was shown, I really have adapted that piece. I already said calling me by my first name, showing out at school or at camp. Listen, we always talk to our children, especially when our son was younger. If he had a challenging day, we would talk about it. But I need to understand you're a part of things. We always talk about the bigger picture, what folks' roles were, speaking to the teacher. We're not automatically you're going to believe everything our child says, but we also want to get the full picture. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to blame someone else for your behavior. You're going to have to be accountable, right? So don't try to get somewhere and do something that we wouldn't approve of. And then try to blame it on somebody else. That's a no for me, dog. Totally fucked up. Not being grateful. Not saying thank you. That's a no for me. Nah. Expecting you to be all of everything all the time. And I know there's the hero syndrome with kids and their parents. They think we could do it all. I thought that of my parents. But we constantly should be reiterating that we're people and explaining our limitations and our emotional spaces and our needs, and explaining that we are going to do our best, constantly educating our children on who we are and what we need, but also what we can provide for them within reason. Being very communicative with our kids, that's our responsibility in all of this, being respectful to our children, not calling them out of their name. Y'all, I was in Foot Locker when we went to LA a few months ago. I went in Foot Locker looking for something for my niece for her birthday. And it was this lady in there with her son. He had to be all of like maybe 6 or 7, something like that. And I don't know what, I think he had asked about like a shoe, right? He asked about a shoe or something. And I just remember her cussing him out in front of a room full of folks. And I remember thinking, first of all, I was crushed for him. I was embarrassed. I was sad for him. I felt so many things for him. And he just put his head down and he's like, shut the fuck up. Like, she's just cussing him smooth out. You get on my fucking nerves, all of this. And I was just like, yo, man, why? What could he have done to you in this moment that you literally were verbally abusive to him. For what? For what? I'm not saying we don't all have slips. We don't all, go there a time or two. But you know how you recognize that something's regular when people don't have an extraordinary response to it, or like you can tell that it's just a normal thing. It was like one of those experiences, and I just felt so sad for him. It's a little black boy, and it was just like completely cussed him out, completely like, again, it's a store full of people. They're in the middle of the store, and she's like losing her shit on him. Totally got him fucked up. That was really jacked up. Teaching our children how to be themselves, encouraging it, validating it, supporting it, supporting their voice, supporting their vision, and constantly having these conversations with them about us and who we are, and putting that in balance and modeling for them what's appropriate. Not investing in quality time with our children. We got them totally fucked up. Let me be clear. I understand that there are limitations as a parent where we may have 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs just to pay the bills, we can be thoughtful about our time also and showing up for them, even if it's, hey, Fridays or once a month, we're going to go on a date. We'll go to have a picnic at the park and let you play, or me and you will have a movie date, or just make intentional quality time for our children. Our relationships don't just build on their own. We have to invest in them, right? How do we expect to punish or provide consequences and they respect them if there's no relationship there, right? Or very little. So investing both ways is what I'm saying. So as parents, when I joke with my clients about like the old school way of like everything you say is disrespectful. If you open your mouth and your tone is out of some imaginary boundary, that's disrespectful. If you look wrong, that's disrespectful. Don't roll your eyes. Yo, I've gotten popped so many times for the 1-2 roll, for the or the sigh. Who you sighing at? I just it's just so funny to me that again, now as a parent, I get it. But I try not to be that limiting to my kids, because I know with kids, they have feelings and they don't always know how to express it. But that also doesn't translate into disrespect. So I just try to be very mindful of those things. Listen, I understand, kids want all of your damn time. If you get a moment, like I'll give y'all an example, and I think I've told y'all before, on Sundays, I cook multiple meals so my family can have multiple meals throughout the week, and I don't have to cook every day. But it kills me. Like, it just wears me out. On top of the fact that we're cleaning and I'm usually doing hair and laundry and blah, 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 right? So I made yesterday, one of our quality time things is to cook. I love cooking. That's now a hobby for me, and I involve her. And so she looked at me and she said, Ma, I said, well, what you want to bake today? Because I had some ideas. What do you want to bake today? She said, Mom, this was your idea. It's your preference, whatever you like to do. Mind you, my child is 5. Okay? So first of all, my eyeballs are like, what? Okay. So we decided to make homemade brownies, which, y'all, that recipe, fire. And we made donuts. We made maple donuts. So in that, she's like, again, teaching her how to follow directions, teaching her focus, teaching her patience, teaching her the whole ability of, following directions, making sure that she stays within the confines of whatever it requires. But it just teaches her so many things, and we get to spend quality time together. When she starts to get off track, I say, okay, let me reel you back in. Let's be clear about what we're doing here. But I think just being intentional about spending quality time. We go on dates together. We had a family date Friday. Was that Friday? Yeah, Friday. We'll let her pick the place. We'll let her pick the extracurricular thing that we do. We take her to do something fun. Maybe we pick up one of her friends. Family dates, individual dates. She has dates with her dad. She has dates with me. We are intentional about quality time because we want that relationship to be built and not just on redirecting her, but we want to invest in her being and love on her and share in her spirit and all of her experiences, and not just telling you no, 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 which we say so many times for whatever the reason. But once in all your time is a no for me. Like, I really have to set boundaries around time that I have to have for myself. And it's okay to do that. And we don't have to feel guilty about not spending every waking moment with our kids, right? Gotta work. I gotta provide. I gotta come home. I got responsibilities there. I'm going to spend dedicated, uninterrupted time with you, but then I also need some uninterrupted time for myself. That's why we also stick to a very firm bedtime. Firm. Now, my family used to make a lot of fun of me before, because my child used to go to bed at 6:30. I think it started at 6. Then 6:30. What is the issue? She's a baby. Why does she need to be up all night? On top of the fact that while she's not up, while she's up, we have to do everything. So after she goes to sleep, that gives us an opportunity to clean, to cook, to blah, 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 blah. Spend time together as a couple, spend individual time. It gives us time to do things versus putting her to bed at 8 or 9:30. And I'm gonna tell you what, my family can vouch for all of this. She was a happy child. She woke up, hey, Mom, kind of like how I feel. She woke up excited for the day and happy and well rested, and so it worked for us. She just recently got a later at bedtime in maybe the last year, maybe shorter than that. She just recently got a later bedtime. She was happy. We would spend time together when she got home, but it was intentional, structured, strategic things and a routine. But talking to you crazy, I ain't got time for that. That's a no-go for me, dog. Not using your manners. Oh, I need this. Give me this. Who? Why? Where? No for me, dog. Please, thank you. You don't interrupt. You say, excuse me. Come on now. There are just things that we can teach our children to use, and redirecting them kindly and gently, sometimes a little more assertively, depending on how often we've redirected you. But let's be clear, there's just a lot of times where got me fucked up. Involving themselves in adult conversations. I didn't get what my mom and dad used to say, mind your business. I didn't really get that. But as an adult, I 1000% get that, and having to redirect kindly, and sometimes not so kindly, of this is none of your business. Okay? But I just want y'all to think of all of the times that you've been fucked up. Like, people had you fucked up. And why? Like, do y'all have any stories? Do you have any comments? Do you have any thoughts? Please share this post. Please like and subscribe to both the website and follow us on social media. Make sure that you get my books, Finding Me, the Conversation Journal, and then I'll be having a journal coming out, Keeping My Shit Together journal. That'll be coming out soon. Make sure that you view this on YouTube, you share it, you like it, subscribe. But I appreciate y'all for joining me. Reach out to me for any other topics. I hope you have a beautiful week.